Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and whatever else is watching. My name is Nick and I'm playing once more Dragon Quest Builders 2 for the Nintendo Switch. This is a little bit earlier than I was expecting to do these kinds of videos again. Because I wasn't really planning on doing them that often. There are just a few moments where you have a lot of building to do and all that kind of stuff. But I was also planning on doing this building a lot later when I had more fields already ready and more stuff I can do. But then again, there are also things coming up in the next episode that I also wanted to prepare for, and that also had me going, okay, I can do a lot more in this time. And in addition, I have to prepare for how do you say it? I have to wait for the spoiled soul of night soul to come in to have enough worm food and all that kind of stuff. So that's why I was also thinking, if I'm gonna do this anyway, then just do building and all that kind of stuff. It's easier. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about, one of the more prominent things was, as you might have noticed, in between episode 11 and 12, or no, 12 and 13. There was a pretty sizable gap. I think 13 will go up tonight. That's the first new episode from my new batch of recording that I've been doing. And this one will go up tonight at midnight. For me at least, it's midnight. For any one of you, probably in other countries, it's at a totally different time. So yeah, it's currently, I live in Central European time zone, and not some daylight savings time zone yet. So yeah, I'm in the +1. So do your calculation. You can do your calculations on your own then. But the thing is, I wanted to talk about the gap actually, because last year, before New Year, I actually actually I have to say this. My actual profession is not YouTube. I don't make videos on YouTube to get to have them monetized and to make a living out of it. Actually, I'm doing YouTube as a hobby. I'm just putting YouTube up videos here as a hobby so I can, well, have fun, talk about video games, play video games. One of the reasons that I started doing that, making video games, is because there were a few video games I actually wanted to talk about, and additionally I also have a pretty sizable backlog. I have a pretty good job, which allows me some economic advantages that many probably don't have, and I, as a child, definitely did not have. And those advantages is that I can actually get myself a lot of games, afford them. I don't have that much. I have a lot of disposable income, I have to say, as a single man with a very good job and no whatever other attachments. And yeah, that also means that I can buy a lot of games in that sense. And I started doing YouTube because I noticed that I was buying a lot of games. I started those games, I played those games for a little bit and then never finished. Which is also kind of sad. Because there were some very good games and I'm also going backwards again to finish them. And that's also one of the things that I wanted to do with these Let's Plays, because I don't like Let's Play when I watch a Let's Play from someone else to be unfinished. There may be good reasons for it to be unfinished, but personally I would love to see things finished. Would love to see series, game series, all that kind of stuff. If there are open endings or some things that you know, hey, there should have been something else, I don't like that. Hence, I thought, hey, doing my own Let's Plays maybe is something that I could do very, very well. And it would also kind of force me, because of my OCD a little bit. I'm not diagnosed with OCD. I'm a diagnosed autistic, and therefore, yeah, I do have those little tendencies of things have to be a certain way. But yeah, I thought, hey, this would allow me also to pretty much finish the things that I was doing, to finish the games that I was playing all the way to the end, and not just partially. I know it also probably is that the games probably aren't that much fun, but actually those games were fun. I just had way too many in my backlog. Nowadays, however, I have such a large backlog that I don't know what to do with it anymore, and yeah, that's a different problem. But yeah, those things were happening, and I played those games and everything. Now it's also come to my attention that, well, I have to do work. I am a consulting software developer. Last year my consultancy agency did not have a assignment for me. This year they do have it, and I really like this assignment that they gave me, where they put me on. The domain is actually really interesting, and that's also something that I wanted to, yeah, how do I put it, keep doing, and all that kind of stuff. It's just, yeah, something I wanted to do. And in addition, my consultancy agency had me put on other projects, which are also really fun. So projects like how I educating junior developers, because I am a senior. I have been in the business of software developing for quite a while. I'm old, actually, and I have come across a lot of situations, and I've come across a lot of personal grievances, things that I had to pick up, things that I thought could have done better by myself, by my colleagues and everything. And I thought, and this is also one of the reasons why we do the what this project is for, is, okay, all those junior developers, they can learn things from us. They can learn a lot from what we have to offer. We can tell them, and because they are older, they aren't little children or teenagers anymore, they are also more susceptible about, hey, someone has told me this and why things are better. This is why they had problems in the past, and we have to deal with that. And therefore I was given the opportunity to create a course, and that was also really fun. Last year I could work on that course during my regular working hours, and therefore it was easy to also do some recording and do some Let's Plays, editing and all that kind of stuff. Nowadays I have to do that once more in my spare time, because I have a full-time job or a full-time assignment for the new job I have been given, or the new assignment I've been given. And that means it's also eating a lot in my spare time. And a lot of my consultancy job parts and educating myself with new knowledges and all that kind of stuff also comes again in my spare time. There is some things that I can do because not always my assignment has enough work to do for me. So I am allowed to then go educate myself, do certifications and all that kind of stuff, because that would also help benefit not myself, but also my employer and the one I do the assignment for. So it's win-win situations and those kinds of things. So yeah, I can do things during the job as well. However, most of it is still taking place during my own time. And that is just eating in a lot. And there is another thing that what I have also been doing. So well, wait, Nick, focus. Because it is eating in my own spare time a lot, I have to, how to say it, how to put it easily. I cannot spend as much time recording and editing as I might have want to. In addition, recording or the recording is pretty fast. It's just the amount of time that you're seeing on screen. Sometimes a little bit more. But the editing part is often also a lot more. For each minute I show as a video, I probably have had 2 or 3 minutes worth of editing, additional editing. It's not for every single minute that's counting, but sometimes I have to do a little bit more, sometimes it's on average on that. And it's not something I dislike or anything, but and it's definitely also, I would like to keep voicing my opinions of games that I like to do, like to play. Games that I just, how to say it? I love playing, that I actually think are worth talking about. But I also have noticed that during Let's Plays, well, again, let's focus. With my editing, I've noticed that because I spend so much time on editing, I'm also playing less games. And sometimes I just want to play the games. And therefore I just want to go into that more. Yeah, how to say it? Sometimes it's not as easy to word it. It's just that I don't feel like editing. It isn't my primary desire to do things. It isn't the primary thing that I want to do. I like playing video games, and that's the most of it. It's not my job. It's my hobby, and it's what I want to fill my spare time with. And one of the reasons that I also started doing YouTube, besides actually finishing a game, was also that I found myself being very opinionated. In a sense that I have opinions about games that I actually wanted to voice. Which isn't always the most easiest thing to do. Especially if you're not used to voicing those opinions. And I also started noticing that, yeah, there are games that I really like this game. But I'm also wondering whether, because of how long it is, that I still have enough material to talk about to fill out the entire Let's Play. And sometimes I just come to parts that I don't have to talk about anything at all. And I can't do this free talking like I'm doing now. Or this free... so freely commentary, which is actually just post commentary. Because, in all honesty, at that moment I am also focused on playing the game. And mostly I'm focused on doing the game and playing it well enough so I can show it off. And having to talk about something that is not going on screen is actually very difficult. Actually having to talk about what is on screen at the same time and play also well enough that people aren't going to say, hey, this guy doesn't know shit, this guy cannot play anything, doesn't know how to play a game, is already tough on its own. Because, frankly, playing video games requires attention. Like many things that you do in your daily life. Playing video games isn't that much different. And if you're not giving it its full attention, if you're multitasking, as it is, and yes, I know women are being said that they are perfect in multitasking and everything, but even then, women that can focus on one thing instead of focusing on a lot of things often do a better job. Multitasking isn't always a good thing, and it's not to put things down or because I cannot do multitasking. This is a shortcoming of me. I cannot multitask. And thus playing well and also doing something that's totally different. Heck no, I'm not gonna be able to do that. And therefore I will not be thinking of these additional things to talk about during those parts in the game where I actually have nothing to talk about the specifics of those individual situations. And that kind of saddens me as well, because then I have videos that are just way too boring to watch. Even I don't like to watch myself. I already have a hard time listening to my own voice, actually listening to myself, watching myself. Really, I can't. Maybe it's some kind of self-loathing or something, in a sense, or something. But it's just such a difficult thing for me to do, to watch myself and listen to myself play and all that kind of stuff. It's not my favorite thing to do. And as an and for editing, you do have to do that. That's pretty much in the job description of editing. And no, because I don't monetize this channel and I don't have sufficient funds for hiring an editor, I am doing the editing myself. And thus, that's what I also was coming to realization when I have those episodes that I actually have nothing to say. I also am thinking about maybe I should have approached the talking about this game that I'm let's playing in a different manner. And something that I've recently dug into or been watching a lot from others is doing retrospectives. People who just talk about their experience with a specific game. And I am not someone who is very versed in in music or graphic design, musical design, audio design, graphical design, or even gameplay design. I am not a professional game developer, even though in the past I did want to be a professional game developer. But in the end, I just like to solve puzzles, and that was it. I like to play games instead of having to go through the mundane task of doing things, building a game that probably I don't like playing myself. And thus, yeah, then things are going to be difficult for me. So yeah, that's why I want to do things. But talking about just your experience, how you feel, how you look at certain things, even if it isn't professional, yeah, that's something I can do. That's something any idiot can do. And I'm the biggest idiot there is in the world, probably. And yeah, it's so I've been thinking maybe games that I don't have and that I have strong opinions with, but I don't have that much to say, or that there will be moments where I have nothing to say about. Maybe it's a good idea to actually do that in a retrospective. However, I also know that making a retrospective takes a whole lot more work than doing a Let's Play. With a Let's Play, it's just play the game, talk about the game while you're playing the game, usually. And when you're editing, look at the game and try to fix some goof ups. Try to cut out parts that might be too boring to watch at that moment. However, with retrospectives, when you're talking about something, you should also be showing it. So you're actually going through a lot of your footage to see where did you actually put things. Where did you put things that you can show off. And that's a different beast entirely. And that actually requires a whole lot more work. So much more work that it probably will even slow me down even further. And having weekly episodes on Let's Plays make it even harder, because I still have to do my job and the assignment to make money, because that's what I get for or use for food. But I have been thinking about it. I have been thinking about doing retrospectives that just allow me to talk about the game in general. And talk about, and I don't have to worry about having some gaps in between. And I can also be a little bit more negative. Also, I can apply it to games that I don't like so much. I can also be the negative Nancy for once, because let's playing a game that you don't like at all is just going to be very difficult. And this is also something I have been doing recently. I have been playing other games beside this one, and I've also noticed that I've been playing them to the end. And I like playing those games, and I like putting it, also try to talk about them. And sometimes there are some negative things, sometimes there are positive things. Two game series that I'm currently very involved with at the moment are the Ace Attorney games, but also Ys series. I've been recently I managed to finish Ys 1, which wasn't that hard. Oh, that hard. It was actually really hard. It was even on easy mode. There were sometimes some frustrations that I had. Yes, I said it. Even on easy mode. But that is also to expect it from games from those times. But the thing that I want to say with this is that I can finish games nowadays. I don't need Let's Plays to finish them for me. So I would finish games. Although, again, if I don't do Let's Plays, I don't know how much I will be falling back into old habits and not finish the game at all anymore. But yeah, it's something that has been on my mind. With the Let's Play, I do try to get things going that I am on a consistent schedule, but that's not always possible for me. And with retrospectives, I also know that I don't have to be on a consistent schedule. Just put it out whenever I'm done with it. Especially because I'm doing this as a hobby and not as a livelihood. And that's something that has been stuck with me. So yeah, it's something you might see happen often. And also, again, maybe I'm not doing Let's Plays, or maybe I'm not doing retrospectives. It's still, due to work, I can have times that I'm not going to be putting out any videos either. And that's also because I'm just enjoying to play games. Want to finish the games that I start, that I also want to play the games that I buy, and that they aren't just getting in a collection of, yeah, I will one day get to it. It's also probably why I've been thinking, okay, maybe I shouldn't buy as many games, but then again, I will have even more disposable income. That's also very difficult to deal with. But yeah, it's just something that's on my mind a lot lately, and that's something I've been worrying about. I don't want to leave you out on the open, in the open, like with nothing. I still like to continue doing Let's Plays, and I also want to finish this one. It's saying, hey, I don't want to do Let's Plays anymore or something else, and then not have things to do. Especially because this game still has so much I have so much to say about, because of how great it is. This game. This is so much fun. And also so much to show off. But yeah, the editing is not the most fun part for me. And that is something that also weighs very heavy. And to do now videos where I just record, render and upload, I think that wouldn't make for fun videos either. And then you also have a lot of how would I say it? A lot of okay. A lot of well, easy slog or something. That's not something that people will go through, and I probably will make a very big fool out of myself because of some stupid stuff I say that I can edit out again later. That I can actually put some text on screen or something to say, hey, this doesn't... I didn't actually mean what it sounds like. Words came out wrong. Although that's still not an excuse for some of the stupid stuff I'm saying sometimes. But yeah, that's something has been on my mind, and I will also probably have many more moments where I'm thinking, okay, maybe, yeah, maybe it's that's, well, how do I put it easy? That there are moments that words. I can't come to words sometimes. As if I have some aphasia. I know what I want to say, but I don't know how to say it. Properly say it. It comes down to that, okay, I just am not feeling it to do some editing. I'm not feeling it to do some continuing another video for Let's Play. While I do want to play the game, I don't want to record. That's the thing. And yeah, that's also something that's been weighing heavily on me, because with these recording sessions, I used to do, well, that I could at least go back one recording, reload the save for one recording, so I wouldn't have more save games than, or more backups than there are actually save slots that I can restore. However, with this game, I noticed that I've been doing 9 to 10 recordings at a time, editing them all one by one, and that. And if I make a mistake, something that I want to redo recording in the first episode or something, or in the third episode even, then I don't have a real good place to restore a backup. And that's also because I just want to play this game. It's so much fun to play this game. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. But yeah, it's something that's on my mind. Okay, so having said that, I do want to now also a little bit talk about what you're seeing here in the video. Something that's, well, what I'm doing at the moment. One of the things that I've been doing is making a lot of grass. This isn't absolutely necessary. Spoiled soil by the end of all the spoiled soil by the end of the chapter will turn into clean grass. That will happen automatically, whether you do it or not. However, I'm a little bit impatient, and I just would like to see a green farm before that happens, before the end of the chapter. And thus I've been making green grass here. The disadvantage is that with each toilet there is only going to be one night soil for each in-game day. And that takes long. It's also why I added a third toilet into the mix. Because it means I have, well, one night soil per day added to it. And that's just a whole lot better, in my opinion. But it still requires a lot of waiting. The grass seeds I'm not that much in need of. Actually, to be honest, the grass seeds that I got from this one fat rat pretty much lasts me the entire chapter. I don't have to go grind new grass seeds in order to green up this entire base. Thus, when I was building those rooms up on the hill, you saw me move standard earth, which is very easy to create with a scarecrow, and replace them with grassy blocks. I did not break the blocks. Well, initially I did start breaking blocks, but then I stepped away from it, merely because of how long it takes to, well, to get worm food in this chapter. Later on, it will be much easier to get worm food to get worm food. It will be the grass seeds actually that will be the most grind heavy that you will have to do, because night soil will be very easy to get once you got at least the green gardens going on the Isle of Awakening. Sorry, spoilers. But yeah, if you got the Isle of Awakening going a little bit, this is going to be so much easier to get night soil. I can go in this chapter to an area where it is much easier to get night soil. I can grind it out by defeating a certain kind of enemy. However, this is also an area we have not yet been to. And we will not be going to for at least a half dozen episodes. I think. I really think. Well, no, maybe it's 3 or 4. It's at least several episodes that we will not be going to it, and therefore I wasn't actually going to show it off yet. Even in here. I just want the story to naturally take us there. And thus, I was just moving things around, because it saves me on worm food. It's a lot faster to get the earth that is already earth, into grassy earth, because I only have to change the top layer. And with the fields, I actually want the ditches next to it to be just regular earth. Also, the moat around the deer tree, I want to be a regular earth and not grassy earth. So hence I remove the grass from the moat and replace it with regular earth. And that's just something I want to do. Also, now you just saw me move away, warp away. Just warp to a warp point and wait for a little bit and then warp back. This is because monsters were attacking the base. And you might want to say, hey, those monsters, don't they deliver the required seeds or something? Well, wheat seeds and cabbage seeds and all other seeds I have enough at the moment. And they don't give anything else than cabbage and wheat. And yeah, that also means that they don't have something to offer except experience points. And as you can see, I started this episode with barely any experience points in level 8. And now I am already over halfway through. If I were to attack every single monster that would come our way to the base while I was working on it, I would be actually at max level for this chapter by now. And that is kind of not what I want to do, because I also want to show off and talk about the various unlocks you get with each new level. Hence, I am actually moving away. Also with the sugarcane, I actually had to restart this episode already before, This is something I could have restarted because I had saved and I hadn't saved over it with the new things. But I at one point went to an orc in the hope to collect some more sugarcane seedlings. But I got a seed that I didn't... Well, the story hadn't given me yet. And thus, going to the orc is also not something that I could do anymore. Because it gave me a new seed and also some story progress, some story stuff with Malroth that was happening at that moment. And I thought, yeah, okay, that's not something I could do. I do notice now that I had one room already made that I wasn't planning to make, and that they were starting to clap for it. However, this isn't that bad yet, because frankly I am doing that room for the Isle of Awakening. I was saving it for that one, and thus the event for unlocking it will happen again on there. So that's why I didn't restart it with this, because otherwise I would have had a lot of rebuilding to do again, and that's not fun, especially because of how far I am. Looking at, you might be looking at, hey, what is this structure that I have on this hill? Well, that's for the next episode. There are a few rooms I want to make that, well, will be in here. I also added the third toilet, like I said, for the additional night soil. And as you could have seen, I am actually collecting spoil spores off base. So away from the town, outside the town. And that's because those spoil spores have given me the sugarcane seedlings that I actually needed. And also more seeds like wheat and cabbage that are also necessary. But yeah, that's how I got to a full field. And this just shows that. Something else that is also I wanted to that I did show is that I already put water around my fields. And that's because if you put water around the fields, the tilled soil blocks will be permanently watered, and thus crops on those soils will be growing a lot faster. Although I'm not automatically watering every single tile just yet at the moment. Mostly because watering also gives gratitude points. And gratitude points is actually more valuable at the moment for me than having more crops. I have sufficient crops to keep me nourished. I can create enough grilled greens, I can create enough bread, I can create enough of the other food. Sweeties, that's the thing. That I don't need more harvesting. Actually, at the moment, the NPCs aren't actually harvesting. That is something they learn once I reach level 4. Then they will start harvesting crops. So yeah, having them watered all the time is something I don't need. And thus, I don't actually need to put those ditches around in the first place. However, I am living in a country where pretty much every field has at least 1 or 2 ditches next to it to supply it with water, to supply the field with water, little creeks and all that kind of stuff. They might be man-made, or they might even occur natural. And that's what I was also basing it on when I made this design. When I made the water go around it. And that is what also made me decide to make those. I put those grates on top of it as kind of a bridges of showing, hey, water goes underneath it, but I can make something where my NPCs and myself walk over easily, because if I have to fall in the water each time or jump over a ditch that I made, that is getting a little bit tiring at certain points. And that's not something I want to do. And I put those grates over there so I can walk smoothly. I know the PC game has automatically stepped up on one block, that you don't have to jump. However, we are in the Switch game, and for Dragon Quest Builders 2 and not Dragon Quest Builders 1, hence I like to make a little bit of a regular field. And also put those stairs around so I can walk up them. But yeah, that's pretty much what I did with the town at this moment. And I prepared some rooms, also that plaza over there, for a moment for the next episode. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you guys liked it. I thank you all for watching, and maybe until next time. Bye!